What is up, everyone? Today is Tuesday, which means that's time for another live Q&A. As always, I'm your host, Paul J Lipsky. So on this channel, I talk a lot about different ways to make money online. Really, I double down and talk a lot about different ways of dropshipping, primarily on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. So if that interests you, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm getting close to getting 100,000 subscribers. I'm going to be doing something really special when we hit 100,000 subscribers, doing some giveaways and things like that. So you definitely want to make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you get any sort of value out of this video today, out of this live stream, make sure to give the video a thumbs up as well. All right, so this is a live stream, which means that I'm going to just be going into the chat here and looking at all the questions that all you have and doing my best to answer those questions for you here on the fly. So let's go into the chat, see who's here. Make sure you're saying hi. Let me know how you're doing. How's your Valentine's Day going? And then let's answer some questions. So for those of you who are regulars, you know I do this every single Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. For about an hour. Today, we are cutting it short, maybe about 40 minutes or so, because I have something immediately after this I have to get to that I couldn't reschedule, unfortunately. So let's get into this. All right. George says, is Zik Analytics connected via API with eBay? No, your Zik Analytics store, you don't have to connect it up to your eBay store at all. There may be an option to do that, but I didn't set it up that way. I don't have my Zik Analytics store connected with my eBay account, and it works 100% fine. So if it is an option, you don't have to use it. The way it works is it's able to actually pull information from eBay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need your account to do that. One thing you could do, though, is connect up Zik Analytics with AutoDS. So just to take a step back here, Zik Analytics is the software that we use for product research. So it's able to get data from eBay about which items are popular and kind of gives you some information on which items you should be selling because they've been selling recently. They could see, like, I was in there the other day and found some items that have sold hundreds of times in the past month that other people are drop shipping. So that's definitely an item that I want to be selling myself if other people are doing it so successfully. So Zik Analytics is really concentrated on the product research. The other software I mentioned, AutoDS, that allows us to list items onto eBay. It will reprice them, restock them. It can auto order for us as well. So that one is connected to eBay via eBay's API program. But what you can actually do is connect Zik Analytics with AutoDS as well. So once you find items in Zik Analytics, you could press a button, they'll get sent over to AutoDS. AutoDS will just list them for you. So it's kind of like cuts out that middleman step for you, so to speak. Yeah. Lisa says, hey, Paul, do you list items with variants and how do you do it, please? I've been skipping them. Thank you. So variants are really powerful. You should not be skipping them. I understand if you are in the beginning because it can be confusing, but confusing in a way is good because confusing will keep out our competitors who don't understand how variations work. You can learn how variations work. I understand how variations work. My students understand how variations work, and that gives you a competitive advantage because other people don't have that figured out. So variations are different kind of attributes or different variations of the item. So when you're looking at an item on like Walmart, it might be available in like 3 different colors, blue, red, and green. Those are different variations, right? So you can either buy it in blue, in green, or in red. It's not like when you buy it, you get all 3. And you can usually see that. You can select which color you want, maybe even another size. So that's 2 different variations available. So variations, luckily, are actually really easy to do if you're using that software that I mentioned, which is AutoDS. Because when you take the item that you found, let's say, again, it's that shirt that's available in 3 different colors and 3 different sizes, and you plug that item into AutoDS, it will list that item for you with all of those variations. So let me see if I can find a quick example of this for you all. Let's just go over to eBay. Let me actually show you this. So I'm just going to search on eBay here for shirts. And let me go ahead and share my screen. And what I'm looking for here, yeah, something like this is probably going to work. So you see, they are selling these tie-dye shirts right here. And when you list up an item like this, you'll have drop downs like this on your listing. So the buyer can choose what color they want and the size that they want. So this has two different variations on it. This right here, this bulk savings, this is not variations. This is something separate, which is bulk savings, how people can buy more to save more money. So this is exactly what it's going to look like. And this is really powerful for a number of reasons. One, just because when a buyer comes here, let's say you're selling a small green shirt. Well, if they are a medium, then they're going to click away and not buy this. But if they come in here, they say, oh, I'm not a small, but I'm a medium. So I'm just going to select medium here. So there's going to be more customers for this. The other benefit here is, let's say you're selling a small, a medium, and a large. And let's say each of them make 3 sales each. Well, normally what it will say is right here that you sold 3 of them. But if it's an item with variations like it is right here, then it combines all of them into one. So it actually say here, this item is sold 9 times. That is really powerful because that's social proof. Buyer will come in here, like I'm coming in here right now saying, wow, this is sold over 1,000 times. Yeah, but look at all the variations. I mean, like this variation may have never have sold before, but maybe like this one's really popular and is sold like 800 times. You see what I mean? So it brings it all together and provides that social proof for your entire listing, not just that one variation. Not only does that encourage people to buy, kind of help them with their purchasing decision, but it's also going to trigger the algorithm. As eBay sees that this item is selling more and more, they're going to promote it more and more, rather rank it higher in the search results. So it all plays together to help you make more sales. So it's really, really great thing to do, variations. And like I said, when you plug it into AutoDS, it will automatically do all the variations for you. Now, what I like to do is I never plug an item into AutoDS and just say list it. I say, hey, let's actually edit this first. And it will pull everything into AutoDS so I can edit it. I edit the title, and sometimes I'll go into the variations as well and say, okay, we don't want these variations for whatever reason. Maybe those variations aren't selling or there's a problem with them. We're just going to have these variations. So you can actually keep the variations you want and delete the ones you don't want. But yeah, that's how you should be doing it. Haley says, do you use virtual assistants to list products specifically? I looked at Online Jobs PH, but you have to pay a salary. I'm confused about that. Can you explain? Yes. So I do have virtual assistants or VAs who do everything for my eBay store. So they find products to list, they list the products, do customer service, and order fulfillment to some degree. You know, we try to use software as much as possible. So software is doing a lot of that stuff for us, including some auto ordering now, where they're actually fulfilling the orders for us. But where the software isn't able to do something, we have the virtual assistants do it. So yes, we have virtual assistants who list items and find them. How do we pay them? So Online Jobs is a website, and I'll have my link to Online Jobs in the description of this video. But Online Jobs is a website where you go on and you can post up a job listing saying, hey, I'm looking for a virtual assistant to help me list items into my eBay dropshipping store. You're going to then have people who apply. And everyone who applies is someone who's from the Philippines, because this is a website where you can hire virtual assistants specifically from the Philippines. So you'll get all these job applicants and you can sort through them and you can find one. And let's say you go through the whole process and you find a virtual assistant that you want to hire. You will be paying that virtual assistant directly. Other websites like Upwork, you would actually be paying Upwork, who will then take a cut for themselves and give the rest to the virtual assistant. I don't like that model for a number of reasons. First of all, I want all the money I'm paying to go directly to the virtual assistant. I don't need Upwork or online jobs to be taking a cut of that. That's not necessary at all for me. I'm going to be paying them directly. They're going to get 100% of that. Second of all, because online jobs does take such a large percent, the virtual assistant has to pay more, but they're still going to make less. So by hiring them directly, I can actually pay them less than I would if I was hiring them through Upwork, but they would actually be making more money than they would on Upwork, if that kind of makes sense, all that math to you. The point is, it's more of like a direct relationship that you have with them, which I like that a lot better. I feel like they're really part of my team. And when I hire through Upwork, I'm always like, they're not working for me, they're working for Upwork. And I don't like that sort of dynamic of that relationship. I want that kind of one-on-one direct relationship with my virtual assistants. So yeah, that's the way that we do it. You can either pay them an hourly rate or a set salary saying, hey, I'm going to pay you the same amount every week or every 2 weeks or every month. You can work that out with your virtual assistant, but it's up to you. I prefer the salary method. Maybe not at first. You can do hourly at first, but again, I've built a business and I want my employees to feel like they are people who I respect, and I'm not going to babysit them. I don't need them to give me a timesheet with all the hours that they've worked. I have jobs for them to do, and they do that job. And if they don't do the job, I know they're not doing the job because the work isn't getting done. But I have a virtual assistant who helps me check my emails, who helps me on these live streams, moderate them, a bunch of other stuff. And I know that if I go into my email inbox and it's a mess, then she hasn't done her job. But that's never happened. She's always done her job excellently. So that hasn't been an issue. So that's more what I'm looking for. Is the work getting done? And as long as it's getting done, I don't care how long it takes. I'm just going to pay them the same salary. I'm paying them for the work, not necessarily for the time, if that makes sense. George says, does it matter when dropshipping on eBay that you're using tools that are connected via API, or should you be using non-API? Good question, George. So this was a hot debate a couple of years ago. Even before that, I would say, when did this really start to come down? I think it was in 2018 is when this all started, if I remember correctly. What happened was that eBay suddenly seemed to take issue with software that was being used to reprice items on eBay based on prices on competitors' websites like Amazon and Walmart and Home Depot. So the software that we use for dropshipping does that. I mean, that's what it's designed to do. It says, hey, if the price on on Amazon changes, we're going to update the price on eBay. We're going to change the price on eBay. So what we speculated was that if we were using that software that eBay said they didn't like, then they were penalizing us by lowering our listings in the search results. There was never any concrete proof of any of this. It was all speculation. I believed it was true, to be quite honest. But as years went on, we saw that people weren't being penalized anymore, or that it really didn't make a difference. And now I'm at the point where I've tried API software. I haven't seen any issues with my eBay stores as a result of it. And of course, using the API software is so much more powerful, streamlined, and efficient rather than using non-API software. Because once we started seeing problems with API software, what we did was we asked the software companies, hey, can you make a non-API version? Can you make a version that eBay will not be able to tell that we're using software? So we kind of found all these workarounds. But the API software works so much better. It's so much more powerful. And again, I haven't seen any issues with using it, and I haven't heard of really any issues recently with it either. Yeah, at this point, George, I would just go with API. That's what my recommendation is. What are the best products to sell right now? Haley wants to know. Well, I make a video every single month about this, so you should definitely check out the video I did for February. Granted, a lot of what I concentrated on, or what we concentrated on, I made that video with Nahar from Zik Analytics. We were talking about Valentine's Day products. Obviously, Valentine's Day is today, so it's a little too late to sell those products. But I will be making a video for March talking about all the products that I think you should be selling going into March. Cored says, when we list a product on Facebook Marketplace and it sells, do we have to take that listing down after that sale and repost same listing with a slightly different title, etc., or can it stay there and continue to sell? So that depends on your Facebook account and the way that you set it up. And this kills me. Like, I wish there was some consistency here, but it's one of the weird things with Facebook where there isn't consistency there for whatever reason. So on some accounts, like we've seen on some accounts where as soon as you sell an item, you have to remove that listing and then relist the same item. There is no other way to kind of get that listing available for purchase again. For many other people, and increasingly what we're seeing is that you can just change a quantity back up, and that's all you have to do, and it will be available for sale again. But you would have to do that yourself. Cred says, my uncle just retired at 65 years old, so congrats, Cred's uncle. Wants to know if it's too late to start doing Facebook Marketplace or taking your course for it or to take action, or might learning curve be too steep for someone at that age? I don't think it's too old at all, 65. I've had students who have been really young, under 18, and I've had older students as well, like into their 70s. So I've definitely seen older people who are retired in their 70s or older be successful with this and are able to do it. And they're actually at a good place because a lot of them because they're retired, they have more time on their hands. And a lot of people realize that in retirement, they kind of get bored or they want to start like a passion project, always wanted to start their own business and now have the drive to do it and the time to do it. So it's a good chance to kind of jump on something like this and to actually learn how to do it and to kind of fulfill those desires and dreams to have your own business. Hey, what's up, Johnny? Where are you off to right now? You in Florida? Muhammad says, I have 1,100 listings on eBay. I'm getting 2 to 5 sales a day, but the sell-through rate is very low. Do you recommend to list more or remove the 900 unsold listings and replace with another? Both, sort of. So if items aren't selling, you should remove them from your store after about a month, 30 days, 45 days. Good rule of thumb is a month. So if it doesn't sell for a month, remove it from your store. It's just taking up space. Maybe it's costing you because you have a store subscription or because you're using software. So get rid of those ones and then look at the ones that are selling and see, like, what did I do right with those listings? Are they all kind of the same product? Did I spend extra time optimizing the titles? Things like that you want to be looking at because that's going to make a big difference in terms of being able to use the success you have and use it to find other products and create other listings that are also going to do well. Hey, what's up? Aiken in Pakistan. Hey, what's up? Pell in Atlanta. Number 6 on the like. Appreciate it, guys. Stephanie says, how can I become tax exempt from US-based suppliers like Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot, etc.? Okay, so tax exemption is for sales tax. So when you're buying an item from like Walmart will say, hey, this item costs $20 and you have to pay like $1.50 in tax or whatever it is. That's sales tax. Now, sales tax, it only needs to be paid by the end consumer, the person who's actually going to use the product. So in that case, that's not you, it's the person you're selling it to. So the person you're selling it to is going to pay sales tax when they buy the item from you on eBay. eBay is going to collect sales tax for them and take care of it. They're going to send it to the state, whatever state it's supposed to go to. But again, that means that you technically don't have to pay sales tax when you buy it from Walmart. So what you have to do is you actually have to register with your state as a business, and they're going to give you a resale, or they're going to give you a, what's it called? A sales tax number, sometimes called a resale number. And using that and submitting some documents to Amazon, to Walmart and Home Depot, you can actually set up your account online so that when you buy something from them, they're not going to charge you sales tax. Okay? So every company asks for different paperwork, so you have to kind of reach out to them or go to their web portal where you actually set up sales tax exemption and give them what they're asking for, and then you won't have to pay sales tax when you purchase from them. 30 days. So how long do we keep items that don't sell? We keep them for about 30 days. So that's like the simple rule of thumb. Kind of really what we do is if we list an item for sale and it doesn't sell, we give it about 60 days. Now, if it doesn't sell after that, we delete it. But if we, I had that backwards. If we list an item for sale and it doesn't sell for 30 days, we delete it. If we list an item for sale and it sells and then it stops selling, we usually wait 60 days. And that's because we know that item has sold in the past. Maybe it's just kind of going through a slow period. Let's give it a little bit extra time to sell. And that's why I give it a full 60 days. Now, if that's kind of confusing, because it can be confusing when you go into eBay and you're trying to see, okay, has this item ever sold? When was the last time it sold? It kind of gets confusing. So the easier thing to do is just say, hey, has it sold in the past month, in the past 30 days? No. Okay, we're going to delete it. And you can actually see that right inside of AutoDS. Hope you're having a great day too. Happy Valentine's Day. Facebook ads or Facebook Marketplace? Facebook Marketplace. So Facebook ads are really used if you are selling products on your own website. So if you have a Shopify store, for instance, then you would pay for Facebook ads to get people to actually visit your Shopify store and then hopefully purchase from you. Those ads are very difficult to run because you have to get the targeting correctly. In other words, you have to target the right customers. If you target the wrong customers, then you're just wasting money on ads that are to the wrong people that are never going to buy from you. So ads are really difficult to get right. I've tried them before, and it is a challenge. Facebook Marketplace, on the other hand, is a lot simpler because all you're doing there is you're listing an item for sale into the marketplace. Now, Facebook Marketplace, there are already customers there. They're looking around for stuff to buy. So you don't have to pay to get people to visit Facebook Marketplace. You're going where the customers already are. They're on Facebook Marketplace. And then you just have to list up the right items with the right titles for good kind of like search engine optimization. And then they're going to find your products and hopefully buy from you. Yes, we are at 99,000 subscribers, so close to 100,000. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath quite yet because 1,000 is still a lot of people to get signed up, but we're getting there pretty close. And I've been waiting something like 5 or 6 years for this, so it's pretty cool. How about tracking numbers we need to provide on eBay? What about them? Because yeah, you definitely have to upload tracking numbers for eBay for all your orders. Now, when you order stuff from suppliers, they're usually going to give you tracking numbers. Like when you order stuff from Walmart, dropship from Home Depot, I should say. Home Depot's gonna give you a tracking number. You can then take that tracking number from the email and upload it into eBay. Now, some suppliers like Amazon, like Walmart, don't give you tracking numbers that you can actually use, or don't give you tracking numbers at all for some orders. So in that case, you do have to have a workaround. There are some workarounds we use like Track Taco, or if you're using AutoDS to fulfill your orders, they can automatically take care of that for you as well. George says, I know Zik Analytics works great, but I heard of another software called Tactical Arbitrage. What do you think? Tactical Arbitrage, arbitrage I've used before, but I've only used it for selling products on Amazon. Specifically, I've used it for Amazon FBA, for online arbitrage. I don't think I ever used it for drop shipping. I don't know if you can use it for drop shipping on eBay. I haven't heard of that myself, but I do know that tactical arbitrage is pretty difficult to use. There's a lot there. It's a lot. It's a confusing software. It definitely works for online arbitrage for Amazon FBA, but it's a lot. It's confusing. Zik Analytics is designed by eBay dropshippers for eBay dropshipping, and it's very user-friendly, very easy to use. So I don't think tactical arbitrage is the direction you want to go with eBay. Yeah, I think I covered that. Okay, answer that question. Tyler says, I got restricted for 30 days on eBay for counterfeit item policy. The thing is, it doesn't make sense since I'm not using brand names or anything. Also, the item in violation was not branded. How do you prevent this from happening? So it sounds like you might be confusing this with the Vero program. The Vero program is where you're selling brands that you're not allowed to sell on eBay. And you can get temporarily suspensions for that, like for a couple of days. This issue with the counterfeit item policy, I have heard about it before, but it's extremely rare. I'm surprised, Tyler, and really sad that this has happened to you, because, like I said, it is extremely rare that this happens. And I think what happens is someone gets an item that they claim is not what you said it was, that it's like a counterfeit, it's a fake. So they call eBay up and complain about it. And I think like 1 in a million times, eBay actually gives you this counterfeit item policy violation and suspends you. Now, I get what you're saying now, because how could it be counterfeit if it's not even a brand that people like want or search for or look for, right? So I get what you mean by that. Yeah, I mean, that just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry that happened. Like I said, it's extremely rare. This is maybe like the second time I've ever heard of it. So you can try calling eBay and getting more information and kind of appealing it with them, but I'm not sure how far that's going to go. Sometimes it's hard to reach the right person when it comes to something like that. So yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry that happened. Am I allowed to recommend a VA? What do you mean by that, Marjorie? Oh no, you guys are fine, Robert and Jen. Welcome. Happy Valentine's Day. Paul J is still doing van life. No, we stopped van life about a year and a half ago. Decided to settle down to, have some more stability in our lives and to spend more time on the business, on the YouTube channel, and things like that. Hey, there you go. Pell says he's 75, 6-figure seller between eBay and Amazon. So there you go, right there. Plenty of them out there. Snow in Vegas, crazy. Hey, get back to Florida. Okay, Robert Stevens says, you recommend, Robert and Jen, I should say, you sell 25, okay, when you're selling stuff from Amazon, drop shipping from Amazon, if you sell stuff that's over $25, it'll have free shipping. Yes, so that's kind of easy way to go about it, right? You list items for sale that only qualify for free shipping on their own on Amazon, then you don't have to add in the cost of shipping. Or you can make it like a 2-pack, right? If the item costs $20, you can make it a 2-pack, sell it for $40. Well, it'll cost you $40, and then you'll get free shipping on that as well from Amazon. Now, it says, what if you choose items that are under $25? If you choose items that are under $25, you want to do that 2-pack method or 3-pack or 4-pack method. Or what you can actually do is just list that item for sale and add in the cost of shipping to it. So for an item that's under $20, I don't count that as costing $20. I count that as costing $26. We have to add in the cost of the item. Everyone else is going to have to do the same thing as well. So everyone else is going to have to mark up the price of their items as well. But I wouldn't count on the same person buying more than one item from you unless you actually make it a bundle. How many additional handling days do you use for Amazon to eBay? We don't use additional handling time for Amazon. Amazon is really fast about shipping, even if you don't use Prime, which we don't use anymore. So we don't have to have any additional handling time there. If I'm dropshipping from AliExpress to eBay, how can I know that the shipping cost is the same for all regions? It will tell you that on the AliExpress listing. So you actually want to go in there and look and see how much shipping is going to be and add that to the cost of your item. Hey, what's up, Jeremiah? Yeah, I know who you are. You don't have to tell me who you are. What's your question, though? Okay, I'll check. I've been checking the group every day, so I'm sorry I didn't see your question, but after this, I'll jump in there and look at your question, Jeremiah, and make sure it gets answered. So sorry about that. And again, you're a familiar face, so you don't have to explain that, that you're a student in the course or in our group. Okay. What is a good number of items to post every day on AutoDS to get the store going? So in the beginning, you don't want to list too quickly into any of your stores, whether it's eBay, Amazon, or Facebook Marketplace. You don't want to scale too quickly with that. So start out slow, couple of items a day, couple of items a day, couple of items a day. That's more important because you don't want to get a temporary suspension while eBay says, hey, who are you? Why are you listing up so many items so quickly? Show me some additional verification. So just kind of go through that for a month or so, get that store kind of going along nice and established, and then you can go ahead and list a bit faster. What method should I use to search for good products without using Zik? So like I mentioned before, we use Zik Analytics for product research. I think it's the easiest way to do product research. They just make it very simple to do. If you're not using Zik Analytics, you have to do the research manually, which you can do by basically going over to eBay and searching for products from your supplier. So let's say you want to use Walmart as a supplier. We'll go into Walmart and find a popular product, and then an item on Walmart that has a lot of reviews. Copy that title, search for it on eBay, see who's selling it. Now go through all the sellers that are selling it and look at all the items that they're selling, and look at the items that have been selling a lot recently. And those are then the items that you want to find on your supplier's website and sell those same items. So that's kind of the rough outline of the whole process. But you would have to do all that manually, opening up every single listing the seller is selling and finding out for yourself if it is an item that's been selling. Zik Analytics, on the other hand, it'll just give you all of that. It will actually rank all the items by the most popular one to the least popular one. So you don't have to manually open up all of them to do that. Yeah, you can actually just send me I'll just, like I said, I think you can send me a DM through that website. But if not, again, I'm going to check on your question. My VA will actually look for it and send it to me privately so I can make sure I answer it for you. Yeah, maybe you guys can chat. How many stores do you reckon I can take on after a year of drop shipping? That's an interesting question. And, quite honestly, my question would be like, I don't think that question matters, really. You're starting a drop shipping store. Why? To make money, right? So like that should be what your goal is and what your interest is. I wouldn't really be thinking like, well, how many stores can I take on? No, that doesn't matter. What matters is how much money you're going to make. So I wouldn't worry about how many stores you can take on after a year of drop shipping. I would really just be concentrating on how much money you're going to be making and how you can scale up even one store to make enough money to cover, everything you want to cover and make as much money as you want to make. It's windy in Arizona, too cold. Okay, so Michelle says your eBay store is 10 years old. I was young when they started, just sold off and on with it. Okay, so you have been using it. Even so, Michelle, I wouldn't just, out the gate start listing hundreds of products a day. Even on the older stores that we see people with, I would still start out nice and slowly. Your store's primed, but I would just make sure you're not just jumping out the gate with tons of products, because that's not consistent with your history, right? Your history is you've just sold a little bit on and off. So just let's get into this nice and slowly so that eBay feels comfortable with it. They see a consistent pattern of, steady growth, and things just kind of aren't exploding and taking off. So I'll tell you a little story about that kind of example. My first year on eBay, I actually back then on eBay, we used PayPal, which meant that when people purchased from us, the payment wasn't put through eBay. It was actually, they would click a purchase button on eBay. It would take them over to PayPal to then complete the purchase. So I always got my money through PayPal. What PayPal saw was sometime in my first year, because I grew so quickly, they were like, whoa, this throws up red flags for us. This sets off alarms for us. So we're going to temporarily, not suspend me. They just withheld my money. They wouldn't pay me out for maybe like 2 months. So that was a bit rough. I was kind of riding on credit for that time and savings. But then they did eventually release everything to me, got all the money, and they continued to pay me out as normal. If I wasn't fortunate enough to have so much credit and have had stuff saved up, that would have kind of killed my progress, and is something that, normally I would just completely want to avoid. And if it happened on eBay and eBay said you can't sell during that time, that'd be obviously a huge hurdle, a huge inconvenience, and kind of just really slow down progress. So it's better just to avoid stuff like that from happening. And again, that was even with a PayPal account that I think I had for a while. All right, cool. So like I said, we were going to cut this a little bit short today because I have a prior engagement that I had to get to, right after this. So that is it for this week's live Q&A. Jeremiah will make sure that your question is answered. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. We'll have another live Q&A next week at the normal time, 4 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Mountain time, 1 p.m. Pacific time. So thanks everyone for hanging out. If you got any value in this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to be part of the 100K club. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. See you next week.